Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sireesha, and today we're going to be doing a practice that's going to help you boost your creativity. We'll be focusing on the second chakra, the Sacral Chakra, also known as svadhisthana, which is the center of our creative energy, and it sits right below the navel. This is the second class in our 7-part series focused on each of the 7 chakras. The color for this chakra is orange, and the element is water. So if you'd like to bring those elements into your practice, you can grab something orange, or you can grab something that has to do with water. You can wear an orange article of clothing like I am. You can bring anything that helps to spark creativity into your practice space to really help boost and activate your creative center. You won't need anything else for your practice, and so I'll meet you on your mat.
So we'll start off our practice laying down flat on the back. And you'll just come to rest here, and if it feels better to have your knees bent, you can have your knees bent, or you can extend your legs out long. And we'll take this time to sort of ground into our sacral chakra or our svadhisthana chakra. So you can think about this point of energy at the part of your body below your belly button, below your navel. So you'll find your navel and just kind of walk your hands down and set your palms on that point below your navel. You might close your eyes down or soften your gaze on a point on the ceiling that's not going to move. And just notice your breath moving through that part of your body. And so our chakras are these centers of energy, this hub of energy or prana in the body. And it's not exactly in the physical body, it's in our energetic body. So it can help to orient yourself to the physical body and then to kind of think of the space and the energy in that part of your body. Our second chakra, our svadhisthana or sacral chakra, is a seat of creativity, of that creative wisdom. And the element that corresponds to this chakra is water. So you might think about creativity as play or movement. You might think about your breath as having a little more fluidity, your movements as being a little more fluid and having more creativity to them. Inviting that to be your intention for our practice together. And maybe thinking about this statement or this mantra as you move on your mat. I have creative wisdom. And you might say this aloud or in your head a couple of times with me. I have creative wisdom. I have creative wisdom. So kind of bringing your awareness to this part of your body, to this energy, this creative energy within you, can help to make you feel a little unstuck, to kind of get things moving, get your creative juices flowing, so that you can think outside the box. And we'll seal this intention by taking a deep inhale through the nose, then exhaling it out through the mouth. And now from here, we'll start to bend the knees, planting the feet on the mat. And you can open your eyes if they aren't open already. And you'll press down into your feet, lift your hips up off the mat, and just set your low back a little bit further down. And you might kind of shift your hips here from side to side. And you can keep your hands on that space below your navel, below your belly button. And we're just going to do some pelvic tilts here. And as you inhale, you'll tilt your pelvis up, kind of rounding through the spine. And as you exhale, you'll tilt your pelvis down, tilting your tailbone down, arching through the lower spine. Inhale to tilt your pelvis up, kind of rounding. Exhale to tip your pelvis down, tailbone towards the ground. Take 2 more rounds like this, sort of articulating through the low back. This movement can be really small and really subtle. We're thinking about kind of moving through the hips, moving through the pelvis, that area, the space where your creativity sits, where you can create from. And we'll come back to neutral, and you might shift your hips here from side to side. And then we'll extend the legs out long, and we're just going to flip over onto the front body. So however you'd like to get there, you're a pancake flipping over. And we'll just come to rest on the front of the body here. And now we'll bring the hands to frame the chest. We'll press into the tops of the feet, press in through your pelvic bone, through your lower body. And as you inhale, lift up, finding your Cobra Pose. Exhale, lower down. 2 more times like this. Inhale, lift up strong through your legs, pelvis reaching through the ground, shoulder blades together on your back. Exhale, lower down. Last round with your breath. Inhale, lift up, strong back, light through the hands, firm up through your core. Exhale, lower down. On an inhale, press up through hands and knees and find your tabletop position. So your wrists are going to come underneath your shoulders, your knees are going to come underneath your hips. And we're on an inhale, we're going to send the tailbone up, send the gaze up, finding your cow pose. As you exhale, round through your spine, finding your cat pose. Inhale to lift your tailbone, lift your gaze. Exhale to round through your spine. One more time like this. And we're going to take 3 rounds of breath here, adding in some extra movement. So maybe you kind of wag your tail a little bit. Maybe you crunch through your side. Maybe you take some hip circles here, sort of articulating through the back body, through your tail, through the pelvic seat. And then we'll come back to that neutral spine, that neutral tabletop position. You might walk your hands a little bit forward. We'll tuck the toes to lift the knee off the mat. And we're just going to hover here with the knees off the mat for 3. Round through your spine here for 2. Last one. Send your hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. And you might pedal it out here in your downward facing dog, bending one knee and then the other. You might nod the head yes, shake the head no, maybe shift your gaze underneath each armpit, finding some movement, some flow. And then we'll take 1 round of breath here in our downward facing dog, thinking long spine, sending your seat high up toward the ceiling as you draw your navel in. Heels can be as far away from the mat as you need. On an inhale, sweep your right leg up and back behind you. You might roll that right ankle, crack your right toes, and we're going to bend the knee, stack the hips here, opening up. Noticing if your torso is turning towards the right and thinking about sending your sternum towards the ground below you as you open your hips open towards the right. So it's kind of a twist. We're going to straighten that right leg, square off your hips, and as you exhale, draw your right knee in towards your nose, round through your spine. Inhale, reach that right leg up and back behind you. One more time like that. Exhale, draw your right knee in towards your nose and step your right foot up in between your hands, finding your lunge. Press down into your feet and inhale, start to rise up. High lunge. Maybe you pause with your hands on your thighs, on your right thigh. And then just when you found your stance, your steady stance, you can send your hands up toward the ceiling. Notice where you can soften here. Shoulders ease down your back. Draw your navel in. And as you exhale, spin it out. Warrior 2. So your front heel and your back arch are in one long line. Soft gaze over your right middle fingers. Breathe here, thinking about your pelvic bowl here and drawing up, drawing that energy up from the ground through the very center of your body, through your spine, and out through your legs and your arms. Now we're going to find some flow here. So draw your navel in, and as you inhale, straighten through your front leg, reach your hands up overhead, bringing your pinkies and your thumbs together to touch. So you're making an Jala Mudra or a lotus seal here with your hands, which represents possibilities, just like creativity, endless possibilities. Now as you exhale, come back to your warrior 2. Now we're going to speed that up a little bit. So as you inhale, straighten through your front leg, create that lotus with your hands. Exhale, find your warrior 2. 2 more times like that. Inhale, straightening through your leg. Bring your pinkies and your thumbs together to touch. Exhale, warrior 2. Last round with your breath. Good. Flip your front palm up. Exhale, reverse warrior, tipping it back, keeping that front knee bent. Left hand to the back of your left leg or wrap it around your low back for a half bind. Inhale, come back to your warrior two pose. As you exhale, windmill your hands down to frame your front foot, spinning onto your back toes. Your left hand is going to stay down. Inhale, sweep your right hand up toward the ceiling, finding the twist. Take an inhale here. Full exhale here. One more inhale here. Exhale, bring your right hand down to your mat. Bring your right hand on the inside of your right foot, and we're going to walk around to a wide-legged forward fold. So now your top edge of your mat is your long edge of your mat. You're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale to lift up halfway, think long spine. Exhale to fold. Now you might have your feet perfectly parallel here. You might have your toes pointed in slightly, your heels pointed out. And you might nod your head yes, you might shake your head no. And really think about that space below your navel. Thinking about drawing your pelvic floor in slightly, creating that energetic seal here. On an inhale, we'll lift up halfway, think long spine, exhale to fold. And now we're going to walk this around to a low lunge at the back of your mat. So now your left foot is forward, your right foot is back. Bring your hands down to frame your front foot. And we're going to send that left leg up and back behind you and bring it down to meet your right foot, back in your downward facing dog. Inhale to wave forward to your plank pose. Exhale to lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck the toes to the tops of the feet, press down into your mat. Inhale, lift up, Cobra Pose, working your shoulder blades together on your back. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, press up through hands and knees, tuck your toes and send your hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. On an inhale, sweep that left leg up and back behind you. You might roll that left ankle, crack your left toes, and then we're going to bend the knees, stack the hips here, opening up. You can draw some circles or find movement, but notice if your sternum is turning towards the left, and think about drawing it towards the ground as you open your hips towards the left, finding a twist. We'll straighten that left leg off, and as you exhale, draw your left knee in towards your nose. Inhale, sweep that left leg up and back behind you. One more time like that. Exhale, draw your left knee in towards your nose and step your left foot up in between your hands. Root down into your feet. Inhale, we're going to start to slowly rise up. High lunge, taking your time. Maybe you pause, hands at your thigh, finding your stance. And then we'll send the hands up toward the ceiling, lifting that right heel, that back heel up a little bit higher. Firm up through your core. Draw stability from this part below your navel, that center of your creativity, and remind yourself, I have creative wisdom. Take an inhale here. Exhale, spin it out. Warrior two. Taking your time with the transition, front heel, back arch, one long line. Pushing down into your feet, really feel the stability of the ground below you as you move that stability up to this part of your body, this seat of creativity. To let that creativity spread out through your arms and your legs, through your spine. And we'll find that flow. So you're going to straighten your front leg, reach your hands up to make that Jala Mudra or that lotus up above you. Exhale to find your warrior two. 3 more times like this. Inhale, reach up, straighten through your front leg. Exhale, rebend, warrior two. 2 more rounds, moving with your breath. Last round, staying rooted through your feet. Now we'll flip that front palm up. Exhale, reverse warrior, tipping it back. Right hand to the back of your right leg. Maybe your right hand wraps around the low back for a half bind. Keep that front knee bent. Inhale, come back to your warrior two pose. As you exhale, windmill your hands down to frame your front foot, spinning onto those back toes. Your right hand's going to stay down. Inhale, sweep your left hand up toward the ceiling, finding the twist. Work your right shoulder away from your ear. Take an inhale here. Full exhale here. One more inhale here. Exhale, bring that left hand down to your mat. We'll walk back around to that wide-legged forward fold. And we'll pause here for an inhale and an exhale. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale to lift up halfway. Think long spine. Exhale to fold. We're going to slowly heel toe the feet in just a little bit and point the toes out, heels in, bending through the knees, lifting one hand to one thigh at a time to find your goddess squat. And now notice if you're leaning forward. And you might pause here with your hands on the tops of your thighs, thumbs pointing in. Lengthen up through your spine. As you exhale, we're going to dip the left shoulder, look over the right. Inhale up through center. Exhale, dip right, look left. Inhale, come up. Exhale, dip left, look right. Inhale up. Exhale, dip right, look left. One more time on each side, moving with your breath, drawing through that creativity center below your navel, and we'll come back through center. Now we're going to lift the hands off the knees and bring the hands together in front of the heart center. Sink your seat, and you might find a little bit of bounce here. And now notice if you're leaning forward, think about stacking your shoulders over your hips and softening down through your shoulders. We're going to take the arms out into a cactus shape here. And as you inhale, lengthen through your legs, reach your hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees. Inhale, reach your hands up, straighten through your legs. Exhale, bend your elbows, bend your knees. One more time like that. And we're going to meet in our goddess pose. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart center. Pause here, feeling that heat build, but coming back to that creativity, that movement. And maybe you sway here from side to side, trusting that creative wisdom, that creativity and that wisdom within you. And then we're going to straighten through the legs, heel toe the feet closer together, finding our standing pose at the top of the mat. Take a deep inhale through your nose. And exhale it out through your mouth. On an inhale, roll your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, soften them down by your sides. Inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Point your hands and step back to your plank pose, top of a bush up here. Breathing here for 3. Firing up your breath here for 2. Last one. Lower all the way down to your mat, coming back to the front of your body. And now we're going to go through one round of Cobra Pose here. So press, bringing your hands to frame your chest. Press down into your feet. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Now from here, we're going to make a forehead pillow, stacking one hand on top of the other and resting your forehead on top of your hands. And we're going to send the left knee out to the left, so that the left knee is in line with your left hip, and you might have to scooch a little bit here. And we're coming into a half frog pose. So your left knee is in line with your left hip. Your left ankle is underneath your left knee, or you can draw the left foot towards your right leg if that feels better. And we'll just breathe here, thinking about the space below your navel, that space full of creative wisdom and energy. The part of your body that truly creates. And just resting here. Noticing that energy level as it shifts from all of that kind of movement and flow to more restful sensations in the body, but not necessarily more restful sensations energetically. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. We'll slowly bring that left leg alongside the right. And we'll come to the second side. Taking your time with the transition, you're going to snake your right knee out towards the right so that your right knee is in line with your right hip. The right ankle can be underneath your right knee, or you can start to draw that right foot towards your left leg. And you can change the setup of your forehead pillow, stacking the opposite hand on top and bringing your forehead to rest on top of your hands. Breathing here. Breathing into your lower abdomen. Feeling your inhales bring a sense of expansion to that part of your body in all directions, and feeling that exhale soften in. Coming back to your intention, remembering the creative power that resides within you and reminding yourself, I have creative wisdom. It's normal to feel stuck, but that creativity can shift and move through you just like water in a river. That flow, those juices that are always there. You can make an effort to kind of rebalance and reshift that energy and that focus to truly harness your creativity. We'll take 3 more rounds of breath here. And when you're ready, we'll slowly bring that right leg alongside the left. And like that pancake again, we'll just flip over onto the back for the last pose before we round out our practice fully, Supta Baddha Konasana. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. And your hands can rest on that space below your navel again. Really focusing on the center of your creativity, center of that flow, your pelvis area. You might close the eyes down or soften the gaze on a point in the ceiling that's not going to be moving. And just breathe into this part of your body. And we'll just bring a little bit of chanting into this pose here. And you can choose to chant aloud or in your head, or you can choose to pass on this part of the activation of this creative energy. But know that even just listening to it can bring that energetic power to kind of an awakened mode. And so each chakra has a syllable, a seed that you can chant to help activate that energy that corresponds to that chakra. And so for the svadhisthana chakra, it is the syllable Vam. That's the bija or seed mantra. And so we'll chant Vam together 3 times, either aloud or in your head. And know that that vibration can really help to shift the way that energy is flowing in your body. So we'll take a cleansing breath to start before we begin our chanting. So take an inhale through your nose and exhale it out through your mouth. And we'll inhale to chant. You might just notice any sensations, shifts that you might be feeling, remembering the way that vibrations of chanting might have felt in your body, and observing the sensations from the absence of that vibration. When you're ready, no rush at all. You can choose to stay here for the remainder of our Shavasana, the last pose of our practice, or you can extend the legs out long, or you can bend the knees and plant the feet on the mat. Whatever serves you. You can choose to keep your hands on that space, on your sort of Sacral Chakra center, or you can keep your arms down by your sides. And we'll just take 2 more rounds of breath here before moving on to the next sort of energetic activation technique. Now from here, you can keep your arms down by your sides, and you might bend your knees if your low back is feeling a little tender. Heel toe your feet towards the edges of your mat and allow your knees to knock in towards each other. And we're going to work on a mudra, or a seal, an energetic seal with our hands. So you'll bring your pinkies and your thumbs together to touch, and you'll extend your other 3 fingers out. And if you're feeling confused, you can take a look up here at the screen, and I'm demonstrating the mudra with my hands, the hand motion. And you'll just bring your arms down by your sides and soften your gaze again on that point on the ceiling, or close the eyes down. And this mudra is called Jala Mudra. And again, it's another way to harness the energy, the prana, that life force that resides within each one of us. And so this particular energetic seal that we're making with our hands helps to stimulate creativity, helps to really ignite that water element within us, that feeling of flow, the sensation of going with the flow and getting those creative juices going and flowing. This pose, with our hands, the seal with our hands, really helps to activate that. And so we'll just take 3 rounds of breath here with this mudra, or hand configuration. Whenever you're ready, no rush at all. You can release that mudra, letting your hands kind of relax and fingers splay out or curl, whatever feels right for you. You can choose to bring your hands on your body, that space below the navel. You can choose to keep your hands where they are. And we'll just pause here for 5 rounds of breath. Asking yourself to soften, to do a little bit less work. For 3 more rounds of breath. And now, no rush. You can choose to stay here for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, if you're ready to move on with the rest of your day, you might wiggle your fingers and your toes, wiggle your ankles and your wrists, move your head from side to side. And we'll draw the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a little bit of a squeeze as you draw your knees in towards your chest. And you might rock from side to side here before gently rolling over onto one side, pausing, and then pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes closed or your gaze downward to keep your focus inward. We'll lengthen up through the spine and gather the hands together in front of the heart center, bowing the thinking mind to all of the wisdom that resides within your body. And when you're ready, you can slowly blink open your eyes, lift your gaze, and release your hands down. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope that you feel that energetic balance sort of shift towards creativity, and that you feel more attuned to that creative center of your body. If you enjoyed this practice, let me know by giving me a thumbs up or leaving me a comment in the comment section below, and hit the subscribe button so you get all the latest videos from me. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Take care.